So I actually came to the field of school psychology from an education background rather than a psychology background. I got my undergraduate degree in early childhood education, and then I was a teacher for several years. And as a teacher, I had the opportunity to teach kindergarten, which is a really wonderful time. It's a unique time, but I also found that it's a very unsupported time for children and families. And through helping support some of my children and families that I had, I was able to work with school psychologists, and I really liked the role that they were able to take in advocating for children, helping children and families one-on-one, and that really drew me to the field.
I originally didn't. I thought I wanted to go into clinical mental health. However, when I started working in the field, I realized that I really enjoyed working with children more so than adults. And so I also love the testing aspect and the whole, I guess, investigative process of figuring out like what's going on with the child. And so I started to look into school psychology. And once I started looking into it and shadowing a school psychologist, I decided that that would be a great fit for me.
I chose to study school psychology because both of my younger siblings required individual education plans whenever they were in school, and these experiences taught me the importance of highly trained school psychologists who are passionate about advocating for students and their rights.
When I decided I wanted to do school psychology as a future career, I went through their accrediting body, which is the National Association for School Psychology, and I looked at their accredited programs. The only one that I saw for Georgia that fit what I wanted to do was Georgia Southern, which is why I picked Georgia Southern.
The biggest selling point for Georgia Southern was, first off, it's a great university, and then we have a small program, so you get that one-on-one attention, and at the same time, another huge selling point was their that they're NASP approved. And that's the only one in the state. So I feel like that's a great investment for me moving forward.
So I applied for the program by first talking to Dr. Dawn Tysinger, and she told me a lot about the program, and I really just, learned more and more about it as I talked to her and looked up things on our website for school psych, and after that I applied like a week later.
So when I started looking at the school psychology program at Georgia Southern, I first started interviewing students who I knew who had been through the program, either students that were currently in the program or that had graduated and were in the field. And I just came up with a long list of questions, anything I could think about that I wanted to know about the program, about the field of school psychology, and I would just ask them, and they would provide answers, explain how the program at Southern was to me, and they were a really great resource. I also talked to school psychologists in the field that I worked with, some of whom had gone to Georgia Southern, and they told me about the process and how to apply. And then once I was pretty serious about applying, I started communicating with Dr. Dawn Tysinger, and she was really fantastic, very helpful, always very quick to answer my emails, any questions that I have, very supportive. She really encouraged me to apply to the program. So at that point I was sold, and when I started the application process, it was very easy. I had communication from within the program throughout the process, telling me, okay, we've got these documents, you need to get this in, and it was just a very smooth process, and I couldn't have been happier with it.
The school psychology program, like I said, is a nice, intimate program. It's a small cohort that you come in with, so you get to really know your classmates. You get to work with your professors in a close, intimate way so they can actually get to know who you are. There's also a lot of opportunities to get involved with like the student association that we have with the department, as well as the connections that they have with the local schools in the area.
What I liked most about this program was the feeling that I got when I came to tour the program. I came and met Dr. Tysinger, and also got to meet the other two professors, the other Dr. Tysinger and Dr. D, and I just felt so welcome and already at home in this program. And that was something that I was able to experience in undergrad, going to a smaller school, and was really excited to get that same kind of atmosphere and experience here as a grad student.
The two things I appreciate most about the school psychology program here at Georgia Southern would be the rigor and diversity of our training. So our training is very rigorous. We learn many different assessment tools, and it's a challenging process, but it's really worth it. I had seen in the field how school psychologists who graduated from Georgia Southern were much better prepared, in my opinion, and I attribute that to the rigor of the program they went through. And several of them had expressed to me that because of the training in the program, they had never encountered anything in the field that they were not prepared for. And so I definitely attribute that to the rigor. I also appreciate the diversity. As I said, we learn many different cognitive assessments, but we are trained to know that our role as school psychologists is not just to be an assessment. We're trained to do counseling, we're trained to do crisis intervention, behavior intervention, all those different things. And I really appreciate that we're not gaining a very narrow view of our field. We're being encouraged and challenged to fill many different and dynamic roles as school psychologists in the schools, and that's what I really appreciate.
Being NASP approved, they have a different set of standards. So they're very particular about making sure you grasp the concepts and grasp the skills that you need to be a successful school psychologist moving forward.
The school psychology program here at Georgia Southern is the only program for school psychology in the state of Georgia that is accredited by the National Association of School Psychologists. And this allows students to have a much smoother transfer or gaining their licensure in a variety of different states.
Georgia Southern cares about their students. They make sure that you get the hands-on experience that you need before entering the field. They provide a lot of opportunity to network and connect, and so definitely make sure that you're well prepared before going into the workforce.
So the school psych program so far has exceeded my expectations. I expected grad school to be pretty tough and challenging, but I had no idea what all I would learn in such a short amount of time. And even compared to your undergrad, and just immense amounts of information that you learn and you're actually applying. And I think what you can expect from the program, after this, is that you're going to be prepared for the field, and that it's definitely a program that you can expect to learn the most amount of information in a short period of time, and then be able to use it in actual real-world settings.
So one thing that the school psychology program had, an area where they've really met my expectations, would be in the diversity of backgrounds of students and also the experiences that we're coming from. So when I started the school psychology program, I was still teaching full-time in a school, and the structure of the program allowed me to continue working during my first semester. That's something I think is really unique about our program, and it's something I really value, is that we have people who came straight through from their undergraduate degree, and then we have people who took some time off and came back. And then we have people who are still working like I was in the first semester, and we even have people who are working now. And so one way that the program has really met my expectations would be the flexibility that brings in people from all walks of life. And I think that really enriches our program. And again, like I keep saying, that's a unique thing that we have to offer here. At many other schools, that's not a possibility to continue working, continue teaching. And I think that really enhances our program.
You are exposed to many more test batteries and opportunities to learn outside the classroom than in other programs. We learned 4 to 5 different test batteries in each assessment class you take, which is a lot. This exposure helps you not only to be familiar with all of these different tests, but it also teaches you how to learn tests in general, since they're constantly changing.
School psychology is an awesome field. It really is rewarding to know that you can help children who are in need and help them receive the services that they need to succeed in school. And so the school psychology program opens up that door for you to get that experience and to become a professional in the field of school psychology.
The one thing I would tell people, not just about the school psychology program at Georgia Southern, but the College of Ed in general, is that you will come out feeling much more prepared than others in the field. When I was a teacher coming out of the College of Ed at Georgia Southern, In my first year, people told me, you don't teach like a first year teacher, you teach like a second, third, fourth year teacher. And I really feel like I'm getting the same rigor of education that will prepare me to go out into the field and have people say, you're not like a first year school psychologist, you're more like a second or third year, because we are getting such intense training from highly qualified faculty. We're getting those experiences in the schools, we're getting that diversity that I've talked about, and I think that that will propel us further than a lot of other programs could.
That is awesome. But seriously, you gain so much hands-on knowledge that you can't really get anywhere else. You also grow tremendously as a person. This program is challenging, as should be any graduate program, and you learn just how much you can handle, which is almost always more than you thought you could.
I wish I would have known more about school psychologists and the many shoes they must fill within the school system. It's almost a hidden career. Through this program, you learn so much about the variety of roles you must provide, and it could seem a little overwhelming at times. However, through the program, you gain so much passion, knowledge, and drive for the field.
Before starting the program, I would say network with as many people as possible. The school psychology community is a small group and everyone knows each other and is willing to help each other. So just networking where you can. If you're able to go to the national convention or your state's convention and get more information about the programs.
I wish I had known how much support you get in this program. They express how everyone is here to help you grow into a competent and confident school psychologist, but I didn't completely understand or appreciate the magnitude of the support you get in this program. You get support from the professors. Seriously, you can ask them anything. You get support from people in your cohort you're going through the same stuff with. And you also get support from people in other cohorts. You really do become part of a family where you can ask anyone for anything. Everyone is so willing to help each other, which is awesome.
One thing that I wish I had known before starting the program was how much I would come to lean on my cohort and really come to love every single person in it. So my cohort started out online because we were a January cohort, and then we quickly became very close, and it's just made all the difference. I never realized how much I would lean on these people and what a great resource they would be, how supportive, and I really appreciate that. And if I had known going in that I was going to have that level of support and care from my peers, it would have been an even easier decision to make to join this program.